So, hi. My name's Caitlin, also known as DMC Weebulous. I decided to start my YouTube channel up again, and I'm really glad that I did, I think. Making YouTube videos is a fun experience, and I missed it a lot. While a lot of the early days of my channel were just making really dumb Minecraft videos or whatever, I think now it'd be a good platform. YouTube would be a good platform for my art. And so here I've decided to show you guys some of my art. I don't really normally do time lapses, but I thought maybe today would be a good day to try it. So this piece is one that took me a couple hours to make. I recorded most of it sitting in my friend's bed, just chilling. I thought maybe I'd take a little bit of this 20 minutes just kind of explaining myself and who I am. So, I'm Caitlin. I am going into college this fall. I've been an artist since I was 8 years old. And that's only really when I started declaring that I was an artist. I've always loved art more than anything. I've loved coloring and drawing and just being around art. My mother was an artist. She used to paint a lot. She was very good at it, and I think I got that from her. Over these last few months, I've kind of had an art block, and that really, it's the worst thing. Really, it is. And I think it kind of started this last October. People who live in California understand what that means, but a lot of things happened then that I don't really want to talk about because we've already talked about it so many times, but it led me to just being completely unmotivated to do anything. After that whole horrible situation, I didn't really want to do anything. I kind of stopped focusing so much on school as much as, while I had an excuse, senior year was easy, but yeah, the whole art block thing is kind of hard, and so I just try to get past it by forcing myself to do art, and sometimes that leads to pretty crappy stuff. But I want to try and get out of it, and I think that having this channel would be a good place to go to, I don't know, get feedback or something that could possibly help motivate me. So, I kind of wanted to do a jungle-themed, almost superhero kind of character with this drawing. You'll see later a little more, but yeah, I really loved this drawing. Making it was really an experience, more than just that I was kind of screwing around in the background, but it was just, I don't know, it's probably the hardest that I've worked in the last few months, which is really satisfying, and I'm glad that this could be something I could share, because I didn't think I would have it in me, if I'm being honest. So, yeah. So I had to stop there because my phone battery died, unfortunately. This was kind of a mess to film. The lighting was not optimal, the setting wasn't optimal, my camera wasn't optimal. Nothing was really optimal, but a lot of people said that they wanted to see what my channel would be. And there's my friend's cat, Toby. I actually didn't think this was ever going to happen, and this is only because of people on, social media that said they wanted to see this. So, I'm just gonna see what happens. If this does well, then it does well, and if it doesn't do well, then it doesn't do well, and I will keep doing it because I'm stupid, and this is fun. Even though this took, 5 hours, 6 hours, maybe a little less, to do, I don't know, I'd do it again. This is a lot easier than it used to be. When I first did YouTube videos, I would spend hours, we're talking 12 hours at least, editing, and it was really awful editing. Really awful everything, really. Video quality was terrible, but now I have the means to make better videos, edit them better. I'm literally just using iMovie, but it works like a charm. So, to ink this, I'm using a Pilot pen. You can find them really at any art store. And I'm also using Copic markers, Copic skin tone markers, Prismacolor markers, and also Pentel brush tip markers that you can see right here. The Pentel brush tip markers are $10, and then $2.50 for ink refills, and normally Prismacolor markers can go anywhere from $6 to $7, and Copics, as most people know, are about $8 most places per marker. Fortunately, I found skin tones really cheap on Amazon. They were about $3.50 each. By $3.50, I do not mean $350, I mean $3.50, just to clarify. So, this is my Pentel brush tip marker. I have a fat tip. The blue one is a skinny tip. This is the Pilot G-Tech C4. The G-Tech C4 is really great for thin lining, and those are my Copics to the right. That is my color sheet that I use for reference. I use it in every single drawing. So I'm going to start just by doing darker hair color for her, but we're going to go darker for shade. But we're just going to start with dark and add dark on top of dark, because Copics are great about blending. You don't really necessarily need a colorless blender with them all the time. You don't even really need to layer them a lot. They're really excellent in just, you put a light shade down first, and then you just put a dark shade on top of it. They're probably my favorite markers. I've used Prismacolor markers for probably the past 5 years. But I recently decided to make the change to a more luxury brand like Copic. But Copics you can find online for really cheap, so that's good. So I'm just kind of coloring her hair here. I'm not really very good at tracking the camera, obviously. That's something I'll definitely improve on with time. I'm not like a master producer of videos or anything like that, but I wanted to see what could happen if I started putting some of my artwork online in other places other than just Instagram, because I feel like I don't get enough traffic I don't really get like a lot of likes outside of, you know, couple friends, boyfriend, etc. So I thought maybe if I took my art elsewhere, I would find more business. I do commissions really regularly. You can find me online at on Instagram. My on Instagram is DMCWEEB DMCweeb. A lot of people are actually curious about what my username means. People usually think that my username means like Devil May Cry or something like that. Well, I do like Devil May Cry. It's not Devil May Cry. When I was in elementary school, I had a friend named Lily. And Lily really liked reading manga. And manga, if you don't know what that is, it's Japanese comic books. And the art is usually really stylized. It's recently become really popular in Western culture along with anime. So, because of that, I got into anime at a really young age, which I think was really good for me because I got to expand my art background. I got to expand my art style because I was able to see different types of art, different ways to do it. And so my style is kind of a blend between anime and semi-realism. Sometimes I can do anime style, but I tend to not really do it that much anymore. I've gotten more people that say they like the semi-realism more than they liked the anime style, though I could go back. There's nothing preventing me from doing so. But here I'm just filling in the skin tone. My battery died twice while recording this, so that was great. And honestly, I'm hoping it doesn't die again because I can't deal with doing this all over again, honestly. But back to my username. So, DMC actually stands for Detroit Metal City, which is an anime that my stepdad introduced me to about a metal band in Japan. And it was probably one of my favorite comedy anime that I've ever seen. And so I decided to put it as all of my usernames as my background. That was fun. That's great. And it's a fun story to tell everyone that asks and thinks that it means Devil May Cry. And I think a lot of people are weirded out about the word weeb or weeaboo. I tend to use it ironically. I don't consider myself a weeb. I don't imprint myself upon the Japanese culture because I think that's kind of offensive. I think that's kind of like a not a great thing to do. And I know people do it. I appreciate the culture. I think there's a difference between appreciation and appropriation, and I try not to tread that line at all whatsoever because I think that's probably not good. People do not like you if you do that. So, weeb is generally, for me, used ironically. I'm not like, I think I'm Japanese or anything like that. That's stupid. So, my username is just, it's fun. It kind of tells a little story about who I was when I made my YouTube channel at first. I was definitely experimenting with a lot of different types of anime, and I've changed a lot, obviously, because that was, 2 years ago? 3 years ago, about. It's just weird. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but I'll be going to college in the fall, and I will be majoring, getting an associate's in game design, and that will mostly deal with the programming aspect of video games, and then when I'm done with that, once I get my associates, I'll be able to transfer out and get my bachelor's in game art design, which means that I'll finally be able to use my art in a professional sense and hopefully use both of those degrees to get a really good job. I'll be trying to get internships during both of those periods. And by practicing all the time now, I think that'd be a great way for me to improve my art style a lot. What else can I talk about? So now you get to see kind of like the color palette I'm working with. I kind of went for more of a kind of a vibrant, I want to say, like, I don't know, I definitely decided to go more jungle theme once I had everything colored in, but this was just vibrant and fun. So I don't really particularly know why the spiders, but it was kind of based off of the character design of a particular anime character named Jolene Kujo from an anime named JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and her design is also really vibrant and has, spider webs and blue, greens, yellows, just really colorful. And I decided to kind of do the same thing here, just kind of gem tones. Prismacolors are great for that. They have a lot of pastel and gem tones. They're really colorful. I like the color variety for Prismacolors. They have a lot of shades. Meanwhile, Copics are just kind of all around good, which is why I'm thinking of making the change myself in the near future. This is a technique that I kind of wanted to try with this piece. I saw one of my friends decide to start doing it, and I thought it looked great, so I'm just trying it with this piece today. So for the detailing, I am using a Sakura white jelly roll pen. You can find them for really cheap in art stores. You don't even need to look online, just get them for cheap in an art store. You can get them in like 2 packs, 3 packs. Mine was a 3-pack and it was only like $5. So really just go for an art store. You'll get money towards a local business, and it's still cheap. You can get it for the same price online, but without the shipping. So just go to an art store. That's my advice. But Prismacolors and Copics, the more expensive items, get them online is my recommendation. If you want to go cheaper, get them online. If you don't care about the price and you want to support your local businesses, then I tend to find more Copics at art stores. They're definitely more popular, but Prismacolors are still a good bet, and they are a lot cheaper. They're about $2 cheaper on average than Copics, and still about the same ink quality, just not the same packaging quality. Copics definitely feel better in your hand rather than Prismacolors. Prismacolors definitely feel a lot cheaper. Cheaper plastic, cheaper paper. Copics don't have that paper, and the good thing about them is that they're refillable. You can take off the nibs, and not only can you refill them, you can also change your nibs. The nibs are the things that you press to the paper, and you can, if you have a brush tip, you can change it to a bullet tip, and if you have a bullet tip, you can change it to a brush tip. You just have to pull it out, and you can put more ink in, and then you can change the tip to whatever you prefer. Some people prefer the brush tip, some people prefer the bullet nib, and here is Toby again harassing the hamster. And so I didn't really want to just do a plain white background, so I decided to do some kind of neat little ferns and plants. The first ones didn't really go very well, but when I started kind of practicing the fern design, I think it went a lot better, personally. But yeah, this was a really, really fun piece to do. I found that for doing the plants, the bullet nib was a lot easier to work with than the brush tip. So I think something I'd like to address in this video is I've been kind of asked about whitewashing in art a lot. Some people say that I do it, or some people say that it's really common, and yes, it's really common. Sometimes you don't have the skin tone, sometimes you only have one skin tone, and that's something I totally relate to when you're starting out and you only have one skin tone, because markers are expensive, it's hard to get more. That totally makes sense, but I think it is good to practice a variety of different skin tones, because the shading sometimes works differently, and I think just practicing different hair and different body types is a great way to improve your style, your art style. And so I've been trying to be more proactive about doing that myself and keep myself from whitewashing, which I think is really important in today's society, that we show a variety of different cultures and personalities through art. And by drawing different people, we can do that. And it kind of brings people together because they kind of see themselves in art. I think a lot of people see, oh, that looks like me, or oh, that looks really cool. Like they imprint themselves on art, and I think that's a really cool thing because it gets more people into art. That's just kind of my 2 cents. Take it or leave it, but I think art is really, really important in my life and a lot of people I know in their lives. And I think by improving yourself, by opening your point of view, your perspective, it's really healthy, not only for you, but for the art world. It's just kind of like a random, I don't know, but I kind of wanted to address it because a lot of people have decided to talk with me about it personally. This is a really long video, and I'm sorry. I should have made it shorter. But, we're just about done now. And, I think this was probably one of the best pieces that I've ever done. Ever. And I'm really, really proud, to be able to show it to you today. And if you guys liked this video, please make sure to subscribe, because I will start posting a lot more. I'll try to post as often as I can. Make sure to also hit the like button, and if you'd like, share it. That'd be great. Thank y'all for watching.